Person 112, your energy manifests onto the rainbow road and becomes this bumblebee, and it's a bumblebee that I know from Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. They call him Buzz Buzz, but I can see him in the old Mickey Mouse cartoons as well. He was this really feisty bee, and I see him with almost like a ping pong ball type of a gun, and he's like shooting, but then I'm getting the visions of the cartoons where the bee is like it's like rapid fire kind of shooting. I don't know if he's shooting out his stinger or what, but I get just this feisty bee, and this is your energy. So the bee energy continues. So I would have to think that the bumblebee or a bee or this vision somehow connects to you and your personality. I asked for the title of your recording, and it was Remember, and so I know I'm coming up to past life stuff here in a minute, and so bees sometimes can be messengers from the spirit realm, and maybe that's why it came through as a bee, and so if it doesn't resonate with you, like if a bumblebee doesn't bring up some connection or something that's helps you remember something, then I would say it's maybe a messenger here from the already passed on realm. So I get the bumblebee, and I see now a played out past life, and I know this because I'm getting it in like these sheets of visions, and so I see it turns black and white, and it's almost Lucille Ball and the I Love Lucy show. And this bee, it's still that same Buzz Buzz bumblebee, and he's like Ricky, and he's kind of opens the door, and he's got a heart box of chocolates under his arm, and he comes in, and you can hear like the stage crowd laugh, and Lucy, who is also a bumblebee, is there, and it's like this like sitcom love comedy show, and I see the two embrace, and I see the heart close in on them, and I hear the music from I Love Lucy kind of close out and play. And so then flash forward, next scene, I see the bumblebee sitting on a what is it, a swinging bench, like attached to a tree, and there's the two of the bumblebees, but they've aged a lot, and there's this like love and connection, but it's kind of like an older time where it's they're like almost holding hands, watching kind of the world go by underneath them. It's really interesting, and they're just kind of swinging really gently on this bench in the tree. And so then I flash forward a few, I'm not sure what, but it almost represents time going by, and then the bumblebee who was you, the male bumblebee in this past life, starts to disappear and become see-through, and then it's just leaving the female bumblebee behind. And so I'm getting this played out kind of past life where I'm not sure if you connect to somebody that symbolizes the bumblebee, or if this is just somebody who's already passed that's coming through, bringing through these messages, and it's almost this connection, this like great love story, and I get like the Ricky and Lucy love story, where it's funny and it's comical, but there's an undeniable love and connection, and it's that classic kind of from that time period, that era, just that like very respectful, and it's just a beautiful kind of love story. And at the very end in the bench, I don't know if you've seen the Disney movie Up, but that kind of flashed into my head when they're showing the progression of them getting older, and then the one just dying and leaving the other one behind, type of a thing. And so that's kind of the close of the story. And then I basically at this point see you manifest onto the Rainbow Road, and I see you take this shape and form of like a Mary Poppins, that time period where like it's got those bonnets that have the tie around the chin, and like an umbrella type of some kind of thing you walk with, and you've got that dress that's very like lace filled underneath, and it's just very prim and proper, and I get this like classic woman is what's coming to me, and I see this classic woman walking down a street, held her head high, almost nose up in the air. So I'm getting this almost air of not arrogance, but arrogance, and almost like don't talk to me, like almost a woman on a mission type of a thing, but a lady. And I see walking and not taking in any of the surroundings, walking literally with a mission. And I see you walking, 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 and I now start to see this orb, this bubble kind of form around you, and it's almost like this protective shield. It's like anybody who chooses to look at you or possibly come into your field, it's like this bubble is going to keep them away, and you're not even, your eyes are closed, your nose is up, you are just walking. And I see you continue to walk, and you get to this brick wall at the end of the path, and the brick wall at the very end, it says, this is the end of the road. And basically you look down and you hear these words, this is the end of the road, and it's like, oh, and you go, I have to do this all over again. So now I'm piecing together the past life plus, and I'm getting, this is an energy that's happening in the current life. So at this point I start to question, and here I'm going to throw out a really big assumption, not knowing you or being able to clarify anything, but almost 90% of me is assuming or thinking that you in this lifetime have maybe lost already a loved one. I'm getting like this husband-wife relationship potentially, or a loved one who would be that partner in this lifetime. I'm feeling almost like there's this this person that's passed, and so if that's not the case for you, I would say then looking back at the past life regression, seeing that past life, there was this undeniable love, and there was this at the very end, this loss of a loved one. And so in this realm, I'm seeing that there's almost this, again, this feeling of there's this loss of the loved one. And okay, so I missed a big part. So at the very end of that, when the loved one was lost and done, I see that person go up to the sixth dimension, which is heaven. And in heaven, they're waiting. And then I see the female bumblebee then pass at her time, and I see her go up to heaven and is greeted by the male bumblebee who had passed many years earlier or whatever. And there's this like rekindling of this love and this soul connection, and they're like dancing and happy and joyful in the heaven realm. And then I see them go through this process of then moving into like the next planning, or the planning session for the next lifetime. And I see them both taking down notes and basically saying and making a contract that one of them is going to have to leave the other one, that they're not going to get to be together the entire next lifetime, that they'll come into each other's lives, but that they're going to leave and depart earlier because there's more growth and more learning that's needed. And so then that's when I saw the Mary Poppins lady manifest down into this world, and it's almost this like energies around her. So I'm getting that there's this either loss of a loved one, and I'm really leaning 90% towards that. But if not, then I would assume that the loved one, or that soul connection, that bumblebee person for you that you had in this past life, has not entered into your life yet, and you're like waiting for this love of your life to come in and have that deep soul connection that you're maybe yearning for. But how I'm really leaning is that maybe you've already had that, and this person has already transitioned on into the heaven realm, or has already passed in this lifetime. And so from here, what I'm getting is that this Mary Poppins lady who had this orb of energy around her walks into this brick wall, and it says, this is the end of the road. And she's going, oh no, I have to do it all again. Like, you've lived the life, and it's almost like this protective shield, or this protective veil that you've put up around you to not have to engage in the energies. It's almost like, I had my love, and I'm not gonna make myself vulnerable to the world again. I'm gonna be this strong person. I'm gonna put on this kind of code of protective energy, and I'm not going to let anybody kind of like get into my field type of a thing. I'm going to be very protective about what I engage in now and how my energy is used and that type of thing. And so I get that this Mary Poppins character has kind of lived her life in this protection mode, and she gets to the end of her life, which is represented by this brick wall, and she gets there and it says, this is the end of the road. Now you have to do it all over again, because you didn't allow yourself to be vulnerable and experience the world like you were meant to, or like you had written it into your plan. And so if I'm right that you did have a loved one who passed early, or who has already passed in your relationship, then what I'm getting from this is that it's almost like the plan for this person to pass at the time that they passed, so that you could go out and experience yourself in a whole new different way and learn different things. And so you had that love, or that support of that soul, that soul partner, that soulmate, and then they left, and it's time for you to continue your growth as an individual soul now here, who's learning a different set of experiences. But it seems like maybe the potential path that you're going down, or however the energy is around you, it's you're blocking yourself from this path of learning and growth. And so I see then, after this is realized, the bubble kind of sheds, and you turn into this like beautiful flower that starts growing. And as the bubble sheds, you can then walk through this brick wall, and so it's almost like you're granted access into this new kind of energy, this new life. And it almost is like Candyland meets rainbows and sunshine and everything happy and wonderful in life, and like that walk down the garden in Alice in Wonderland where the flowers are alive. I get that as soon as you move, you let that shield down, and you open up your energy field to receive whatever's out there waiting for you. It's almost like this whole new world that is like this new technicolor world filled with like magic and amazing things, and it's all colorful and bright and just like happiness and joy. It's like this is opened up to you, and I see you walking down this path now, totally open, and like this rose flower that was curled up at the top, not blossomed, and as you walk down, it's like this rose just blossoms more fully. And so from here, the energy then moves, and I see the wooden door frame, which represents the portal to the next part of the story. And so when you move through this, you typically show me where you are in your chakra column. So as you move through, it's funny because you hold onto the sides, and it's almost like that hanging bench on the tree comes and sweeps you up and like swings you out, pushes you through the door. And so as you kind of are cannonballing down in this kind of black abyss, you keep falling and keep falling and keep falling. And so this to me is a loss of a root chakra, or this to me is somebody who isn't grounded in their life. And so when I see somebody falling and there's no ground that hits, or they don't hit anything, it's basically representative of like no foundation, no security, no protection. Like, and again, if I'm right in saying that you maybe did lose a love of your life, or that soulmate, or that soul partner, or whatever it is, or if you don't have that person in your life yet, but are waiting for it, it's almost like you feel like there's a part of you there's no foundation to grow your life from. And it's almost like there's this, there's no safety net almost underneath you. And so from here, I'm getting, and I hear that it's time to start the new journey. It's time to build your new foundation. It's time to grow. And so a lot of times when we have these big shifts and these big changes in life, whether it's career, whether it's family, whether it's a new spiritual kind of journey that we're going on, we tend to accelerate our growth through the past lesson, and we learn everything we can. And then when it's time to shift, it's like our world crumbles down, our foundation breaks, and it's time to grow, almost like the phoenix rising from the ashes. But it's time to grow, and we have this already gained wisdom from our past journey, and it's time to grow this whole new exciting journey. And that's what I get. It's almost like you're at stage 1 of this new journey, and you've learned a whole lifetime of lessons with whatever the energy was, but it's time to kind of start and build this new foundation and open yourself up to experience a new set of energies and experiences. And so from here, I see you move towards where I think we're going to go into the Akashic records, but the Akashic records don't come. So what happens is you start to move, and you're in this like really happy-go-lucky world, and I see all these rainbows start to curve, and it's almost as if you're riding from like the subway rails, and when subways are underground and then you have to go up the stairs, how there's all those like illuminated almost arches above you. Like, this is what it feels like. It feels like we're going up an escalator, and all these like illuminated arches are these rainbows. And so what happens is you start to move down this path, and this big train comes, and you jump on this train, and this train is like chugging up this path, and I feel like we're going up this huge side of a mountain, and all these rainbow arches we keep moving through, and you move all the way up, and I feel like we're going to stop somewhere on the mountain, but we don't. We keep going, and we're moving even further, and we're going now like up into the universe and into the stars, and finally we get to a place where the train kind of like plateaus and goes, instead of at a diagonal, it's now going horizontally, and the train hits this like station, this train station up in the universe somewhere, and it's like you get off and you're sitting on this bench, and you're just sitting there very contemplatively, like just head in your hands, waiting. And the train leaves the station, and I'm like, what's happening here? I'm like, are Akashic records up here? What's going on? So I look, and we're not getting pulled anywhere. And then coming down the track, like on one of those hand pump rail things, cars, is this male character, and he comes in and basically stops and embraces you on the side of the track, and basically it's this like reconnection. It's again what I saw after the bumblebees and the Lucy thing, like when you moved up into the sixth dimension at that, into heaven dimension there, and the two souls uniting. That's what I'm getting, is this feeling of these two souls, these kindred souls that are like reuniting again. And so I watch, and so from here I'm kind of confused because I've never been taken like this, and so I call down your higher self, and I'm mistaken because the form I'm watching you in is actually your higher self. So you and this male character come to me, and I'm saying, what's going on? What is this? And basically you're reiterating what I've now expressed to you, is that there's this connection, and that the life had to be lived this way, where there was a disconnect from the soulmate, or this soul partner, this kindred soul that's here now with you, that there had to be a disconnect in this lifetime, that in order to grow in your lesson plan, and in order to move forward and achieve the growth that you wanted, that there had to be an early separation of the two souls. And so whether it's the fact that this person has left you, and I'm really getting pulled to this, that somebody's already passed away that was connected to you here, or if it's that this person never came into your life, and there's this disconnect because there's missing this energy that you maybe feel so strongly, that there's this connection somewhere out there for you in the universe that has never kind of manifested into your life. So whatever the two of those are, I'm getting that it's this basically lesson for you, saying that it like had to be this way. There was we had to write this into our lesson plan for this lifetime this way. We couldn't be together forever basically in this lifetime, because the growth that we both needed wouldn't happen. And so I'm almost getting this feeling like this soul this time did this for you, where in that past life it was reversed, where you left first and left that soul alone on earth to finish up their work. Now I got that this was being done for you in this lifetime, and so the highest wisdom was. And so I asked, what's for the highest good for this person to know at this moment in time? And they say it's basically to release that shield, release that protective field that's around you, because you're not engaging in the energy of the world as much as you should be, and the growth that you're looking for isn't able to come into your field, because there's this almost like protective field around you where you're not really entertaining the possibilities of the growth. And so it's almost like making yourself vulnerable to the experiences that either you're choosing not to have, or that you unknowingly are kind of preventing yourself from having. So that was the whole trip, and I would be really interested to hear your feedback under the video. There's a form for my own purpose, and seeing if that was right, that there has been a loved one that's already been detached from you in this lifetime. It would be very beneficial for me if you could let me know if that was true or not, with light and love.